Hello, Val. How are you? Grand Rising Pepsi. Hello, darling. Oh, I will be. It's going to hit us probably at a 1. So it isn't going to be that bad. I've rid out a lot harder hurricanes than this one. Grand Rising, Wendy. Grand Rising, Julia. Hello, beautiful angels. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. It definitely is. Definitely is. You had beautiful pink and purple clouds again last night. Awesome. I mean, that's one of the signs we're looking for, Wendy. Hello, Christy. You had a hard time finding me. What the heck? Hi, Karen. Hi, beautiful angels. I don't know why. Hello, Kateri. Hello, darling. You wish the aurora would stick around every night? Hello, Diamond. Hello, beautiful. You've been seeing that also? Pink, purple, orange skies? Yeah, that is weird. Who knows? Yeah, the hurricane isn't even supposed to hit us till tomorrow. I mean, till Thursday. It keeps being pushed back. It's like not moving very fast. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, Kateri. I think so too. I think so too. Hello, Dan. Welcome into the Butterfly Sanctuary. This is Ascension Class. Yes, Christy, thank you. I have also. I made my grid and I'm working with it. There are a lot of, yeah, there's a lot of angels here in Florida, and we're all praying. And, you know, we've got our dragons there. We've done everything we can. Yeah, we've done everything we can. I'm doing grid work every day, and I know there's other people doing grid work. We're trying to send it back to where it came from. Yeah, I know, Val. I know. I know. I've been told by our galactic family that I'm in no danger whatsoever. I am protected. Yeah, return to sender. Grand Rising, Christina. Hi, beautiful angel. TikTok. Hugs all around. Hi, Victoria. Hi, beautiful. Yes, please hit that thumbs up button. It helps with the algorithm here on YouTube. Oh, that's amazing, Christina. Yes. I think we're all being called. We're all being called to be the teachers. You know, I think we might be close to the 10 days of darkness and the disclosure, everything. The EBS. I think we're just so close right now. Grand Rising, Sharon. Hello, beautiful. Yep. Yep. And I think they're doing these things to distract, to help to distract us. But there is no distracting someone when they know Ascension is coming. That's awesome, Diamond. All right. Let's go to the Rainbow Butterflies songs. And as always, if you hear a song that reminds you of a past loved one, it is them coming in to say hello, because they're always with us anytime we think of them. Sister Golden Hair. That's the first one the universe is sending out to us. Sister Golden Hair. All right. We've got our cards for the day. So we're going to go ahead and do those. I've got a message from Adama of Telos today and Aurora. So we got a couple of messages today. So the chakra wisdom card is a base chakra today. Building a strong foundation. I create stability and security by adequately providing myself with the basic needs of a healthy life, such as shelter, food, water, and clothing. I use my creativity to build a strong foundation, as this is an essential key to my survival and growth. The more inner and outer stability I have, the more grounded and fulfilling my life will become. I respect myself and take care of my physical body by nurturing and nourishing it. My body tells me what it needs. Hello, Christine. Hi, beautiful. I looked for you at 7 o'clock last night. I didn't see you live last night. I did look for you. Hello, hippie. Hello, darling. Here is the Healing Energy Oracle. Inner strength. Look at that. More red. More red. Although I chose blue today for the color. Nothing moves me from my path to the light because I have complete confidence in myself. I realize my innate qualities and abilities and know that with God I can do anything. All the power I need is within me. Yes, absolutely. Shining light. My desire to improve myself transforms fear into strength. I raise my thoughts above doubt and find faith in the goodness of the universe. I love and accept myself as a soul, and I discover the light that dwells in me. Yes, and harmony. I open myself to the divine being within me. I am the image of God. Thus, I have the power to bring light into my life. I turn any darkness in me into something beautiful. In the absence of resentment, anger, or doubt, I find harmony. Yes. Hello, Ashley. Hello, beautiful angel. All right. Now we have our Work Your Light Rainbow Oracle cards. Protection. Yes. Call back your power. Cut the cords. Soul retrieval. Protection. Grab these light codes. Birthing a new age. Birthing a new age. Birthing new creations. Dreaming a new world into being. Yes, creating our new world. And there is the light code for that. And the ever unfolding rose, cracked open. It's happening for you, not to you. It's happening for you, not to you. Awesome. Uh-oh. What's going on with my music? There we go. Long as I can see the light. Long as I can see the light. Yep. Here's our Starseed Oracle. The void. Where do we create? In the void. Stop. Embrace winter. Great cosmic womb. Great cosmic womb. That kind of looks like a hurricane, too. Sure does. A new earth. There we go. It is happening. Keep holding the vision. Keep holding the vision. for a new earth. And yes, the blue flame. Spontaneous awakening. Activation. Integration time. Yes. Oh, that's amazing, Christy. I love that. Talking with your inner child can help you get through lots, can help you get through anything. The blue flame, the St. Elmo's fire, right? Our crystal for the day is the Larimar. I love, love, love Larimar. This is what Larimar looks like. That's a Larimar. And it's a healer. Sensitive emotions, times of heightened emotions and sensitivity call for extra self-care and gentleness. The Larimar. Our animal for the day, the lizard, regeneration. As a survivor, you are unparalleled. No matter what happens, you can adapt. Embrace your transformation. Put on your new cloak. You are a master of regeneration. Yes. We are transforming. And here's our fairy card. Celebration. Yes. Get ready to let your hair down and celebrate. It's time to go out to dance and play. An invitation could be on the way. Celebrate. Komodo dragon, right? Yup. All right. We have our butterfly for the day. Butterfly for the day says, today, everything is unfolding perfectly according to a greater plan. It's all the greater plan. It's all the greater plan. No matter what happens, it's all the greater plan. And our ascended master for today is, Sanat Kumara. Light activation. Shine your light. Your inner guidance is coming through loud and clear. Yes, Sanat Kumara. Sanat Kumara. I've read you his message to us many times in here. Many times. All right. Yeah, Sanat Kumara. He's been with me for many, many years. Since the 1990s. All right, let's take a look at our... Yeah, that's the Schumann right now. I know we're feeling this. Right? Sleepless nights. All right. Let's get our messages. He is he's an amazing energy, Sanat Kumara. Just an amazing energy. He helps us activate our light bodies. All right. Here is the latest energy update by Adama of Telos. Hello, April. Hello, darling. How are you? I hope you're well. Yeah, Adama of Telos. We read Protocols of the Fifth Dimension was from the Telosians. He works with the Archangel Michael, the galactic families of light. He says, greetings, beloved ones. We are most joyous. That was only times playing too. Okay. We are most joyous to connect with you here today, and we are sending you our utmost love from the heart of Telos. Absolutely, April. What would you like? Just let me know what the name of the song is. Beloved one, as you are moving through your awakening journey. Oh, Dancing in the Sky. Okay. And that's Danny and Lizzie, or Sam Barber, or Kristen Cruz. Who sings it? Who sings it? Because there's a few here. Yeah. Let's see. It's this one. Ash Frizz. I don't have that one. Let me see if I can find it on YouTube. Oh, I love this song. This is a really good song.
Too far, man. How do you sleep at night?
Yeah, I don't know why it isn't on Spotify. Here we go. I'll play it for you now.
Tell me what does it look like in heaven?
Oh, that's the same one.
Peaceful? Is it free like they say? Does the sun shine bright forever?
Add to playlist.
Have your fears
Okay.
and your pain gone away? 'Cause here on earth it feels like everything good is missing since you left.
Okay. Beloved one, as you are moving through your awakening journey, the 7 sacred rays of ascension are expanding more and more. I think someone's here. Just a second. Oh, I didn't think you'd come today because it's not yet until Thursday. It's not hitting today though, right? Yeah. Oh, okay. Oh, my husband's playing. They're playing hooky, but yeah, there's not much they can do there anyway. Yeah, this is a really beautiful song. Grand Rising, Cindy. Okay, so beloved one, as you are moving through your awakening journey, the 7 sacred rays of ascension are expanding more and more. You might not be aware of them, but they are within you and are naturally intensifying to assist your ascension process. So the 7 sacred rays are white, ascension and purification, violet, transmutation and freedom, gold, confidence and peace, pink, divine love, blue, divine expression and truth, green, healing and abundance, yellow, divine guidance in the mind of God. As you are releasing your old 3D ego mind way of thinking, the more space you will create for these sacred rays to become the driving force within you. Your reason for being in this incarnation is to become a light of God in the world. By amplifying these sacred rays within you, your God self is able to fulfill this purpose by utilizing your wonderful abilities and skills. Okay. Let's see here. That was a beautiful song, by the way. Got me all choked up here. Your reason for being in this incarnation is to become a light of God in the world. By amplifying these sacred rays within you, your God self is able to fulfill this purpose by utilizing your wonderful abilities and skills. The guiding light for your purpose is joy, peace, ease, and flow. You might have an idea of what it is you are supposed to be doing here, but it begins by becoming joy and peace first. Listen to the voice for God, which is the Holy Spirit. Then follow the guidance of the voice for God. This might challenge your ego mind, which is so very much focused on survival. Your awareness of the ego mind will dissolve it, like turning the light on in a dark room. We are here to tell you that you will be provided with everything you'll need when you become and fulfill your divine purpose of joy, peace, and being a light in your world. We champion your victory in the light. Welcome home. We send you all so much love. You are carried on the wings of angels to bring forth the new earth. Know in your heart that you are always surrounded by your angels, ascended masters, guides, galactic families of light, and yes, also by your family and friends in Telos, and always will be. Dear ones, we are walking with you on this journey, and you are loved beyond measure always. I am your brother, Adama of Telos. So, what a beautiful message to us. We are ascending, and we all carry these 7 sacred rays inside of us. The violet ray certainly touches my heart, transmutation and freedom. We are all fighting for our freedom. That's what we're doing here on Earth. All right. That was that message. Now, I've got one more from Aurora Ray. Codes and freedom. Of course. Hello, Trey. Hello, darling. Okay. I don't think we've done this one. Okay. Palladians and Earth's shared evolution, a tale of codes and freedom. The Pleiades, a group of shining stars, have a big effect on Earth. People have been fascinated by these stars for a long time and have wondered about the mysteries of space. A long time ago, the Pleiadians, who are connected to the Pleiades stars, did important things. They sometimes caused problems and other times helped Earth change. Different cultures admired their special energies and qualities. The Pleiadian energies mixed with human genes and even had something to do with reptile-like beings. This means they interacted with us in complex ways over a very long time. Now, the Pleiadians have come back to Earth with a good purpose, to fix things that went wrong before, and to help with healing. They want to repair what was broken and help things get better. Their journey is like they're working together with Earth. The Pleiadians realized that their progress at home in the Pleiades is connected to how Earth changes. They need to share their knowledge, creations, and skills with us, making a sort of partnership. Think of this like solving a puzzle. The Pleiadians have to move forward by sharing what they know and can do with Earth. It's like a dance of teamwork. The Pleiadians are excited for Earth to develop creative skills. When this happens, these skills will send out special instructions or codes. And these codes could make big changes, like maybe even letting us travel to other planets. Surprisingly, Earth might be sending out these codes without even knowing it. These codes hold secrets for making new lives or solving problems. People who need help can use these codes to make changes. These codes are the key to freedom for both Earth and the Pleiadians. The music of these codes matches the signals that our bodies give off. When these codes are used, they can help us get free from problems. Earth is attractive not only because it looks beautiful, but also because some powers with not so good plans want to control it. This power struggle isn't only on Earth. It affects the whole solar system and how things work together. Different groups of planets all have similar thoughts and feelings. Negative emotions have caused problems, but they're part of a bigger plan. These challenges are chances to grow. The hard things humans face aren't just random. They're important for a bigger purpose. Problems push less advanced beings to want to get better. Good things can come out of tough times. Even when things are changing a lot, we don't need to be scared. The Pleiadians think humans are amazing, and they want us to know how special we are. When we believe in ourselves, we can do amazing things. The Pleiadians promise that incredible opportunities are waiting for those who understand their own importance. This challenge is all about being positive. When things are changing in unusual ways, less advanced beings are motivated to aim higher. And this actually brings good things as things change. So there's no need to worry as things happen. By recognizing your own worth, you open the door to incredible possibilities that are hard to imagine. As I can only imagine, right? As I say, that are hard to imagine. As we look to the uncertain future, the Pleiadians give really good advice. Stay strong, even when things are changing a lot. Remember how important you are. Look forward to the unknown with hope in your heart. They promise that these ideas will help us find our way through times when things are unclear. In the big story of the universe, Earth's connection with the Pleiades is really important. Their journey to fix past mistakes, bring healing, and work together with us shows how everything is connected. The stars of the Pleiades shine in the sky, reminding us that we're all connected and have potential. To sum up, the Pleiades and the Pleiadians have had a big impact on Earth. From history to working together, their story is about connection, change, and both sides benefiting. As Earth unlocks its creative power and shares its special codes, a path to healing and freedom appears, like a dance with the Pleiades. We love you dearly. We are here with you. We are your family of light. We are the Galactic Federation of Worlds. Aho Aurora, Ambassador of the Galactic Federation. Most of you already know this, but the name of the Pleiadian planets is the Seven Sisters of Mercy. If you didn't know that. Just a little tidbit of information. They are called the Seven Sisters of Mercy. I am actually from one of the planets called Tegeta. It's called Tegeta. That is the planet that I am from in the Pleiades. Oh, really? Sisters of Mercy is a great song by Leonard Cohen. I'll have to look that up. Let me see. Sisters of Mercy. Let's check it out.
Departed or gone.
I'll add it to playlist.
They were waiting for me when I thought that I just can't go on.
All right.
And they brought me their comfort. And
interesting, yeah.
they brought me this song.
You like this song? I've never heard it before.
Wow.
Hippie got your popcorn. All right. Next thing I want to talk about today is Airl, our resident alien, and what happened with his story. I tried to bring it up yesterday and it wouldn't come up, but I got it to come up today.
Yes, you who must leave everything that you can.
We learned that the domain has 3,000 of their own Isbies in captivity on Earth. So they do have an interest in solving this problem. And the problem is, of course, the evil agenda on the Earth right now. But we are breaking, and we have broken the amnesia cycle. We have brought down their electronic traps, the nets. Okay? So, what happens after? Because that was the last of the interview questions from Airl. So, what happened after that? So, we're talking to Matilda. Turn this down a little bit. We're talking to where'd it go? Okay, we're talking to Matilda, who was the one person that could talk to this alien that she named Airl. Okay, so she says, shortly after I finished recounting the previous interview with Airl to the stenographer, I was summoned urgently to the office of the commanding officer of the base. I was escorted by 4 heavily armed military policemen. When I arrived, I was asked to be seated in a very large makeshift office that had been arranged with a conference table and chairs. In the office were several dignitaries that I had seen at various times in the gallery. I recognized a few of them because they were famous men. I was introduced to these men, which included, so Army Air Force Secretary Symington, General Nathan Twining, General Jimmy Doolittle, General Vandenberg, and General Norstad. And she says, much to my surprise, Charles Lindbergh was also in the office. Is this the same Lindbergh? Wasn't it his twins or something got stolen, or was that Lindbergh? Interesting. Secretary Symington explained to me that Mr. Lindbergh was there as a consultant to the Chief of Staff of the U.S. Air Force. You know what? I'm going to look that up because I think that I'm right. Charles Lindbergh. And if I'm right, he was an American aviator and military officer. Let's see. He was a barnstormer and airmail pilot. He gained worldwide fame as the first person to fly alone across the Atlantic. He flew the Spirit of St. Louis to all 48 states to show that airplanes could provide a safe, reliable mode of transportation. It doesn't say anything about that. Maybe. Yes, it did. Yes. Okay. All right. So, yeah, his son was taken. So, Charles Augustus Lindbergh Jr., 20-month-old son of the famous aviator, and Anne Merrill Lindbergh were kidnapped on March 1st, 1932. Yeah. So, yeah, his son was kidnapped. Same guy. Okay. I thought so. I wasn't sure, though. That's kind of interesting. So, this was after his son was kidnapped. This happened because this happened in 1940 something. And his son was kidnapped in the 30s. So interesting. All right. So she says, much to my surprise, Charles Lindbergh was also in the office. Secretary Symington explained to me that Mr. Lindbergh was there as a consultant to the Chief of Staff of the U.S. Air Force. There were several other men present in the room who were not introduced. I assume these men were personal aides to the officers or agents of some intelligence service. All of a sudden, attention, not only from the Secretary and generals, but from such world-famous people as Mr. Lindbergh and General Doolittle, made me realize how critically important my role as an interpreter for Airl was, as seen through the eyes of others. Until this time, I was not really aware of this except in a peripheral sense. I suppose this was because I was so absorbed in details of the extraordinary situation. Suddenly, I began to grasp the magnitude of my role. I think that the presence of these men in that meeting was intended, in part, to impress me with this fact. The secretary instructed me not to be nervous. He said that I was not in any trouble. He asked if I thought the alien would be willing to answer a list of questions that they had prepared. He explained that they were very eager to discover many more details about Airl, the flying disc, the domain, and many other subjects that Airl had disclosed in the interview transcripts. Of course, they were mainly interested in questions relating to the military security and the construction of the flying disc. Leaving on a jet plane is playing. Wow. I told them that I was very sure that Airl had not changed her mind about answering questions, as nothing had changed that would cause her to trust the intentions of the men in the gallery. I repeated that Airl had communicated everything that she was willing and at liberty to discuss already. In spite of this, they insisted that I would ask Airl again if she would answer questions, and if the answer was still no, I was to ask her if she would be willing to read the written copies of the transcripts of my interview translations. They wanted to know if Airl would verify that my understanding and translation of our interviews was correct. Since Airl could read English very fluently now, the secretary asked if they could be allowed to observe for themselves while Airl read the transcripts and verify that they were correct in writing. They wanted her to write on a copy of the transcript whether the translations were correct or not, and make a note of anything that was not accurate on the transcripts. Of course, I had no choice but to obey orders, and I did exactly what the secretary requested. I was given a copy of the transcripts with a signature page, which I was to show to Airl. After Airl completed her review, I was also directed to request that Airl sign the cover page, attesting that all of the translations in the transcripts were correct, as amended by her. About an hour later, I entered the interview room as instructed, with copies of the transcripts and signature page to deliver to Airl. As the members of the gallery, including the generals, and Mr. Lindbergh also, I presume, and others watched through the glass of the gallery room. I went to my usual seat, sitting 4 or 5 feet across from Airl. I presented the envelope of transcripts to Airl and passed on the instructions I had received from the secretary telepathically. Airl looked at me and looked at the envelope without accepting it. Airl said, "If you have read them, and they are accurate in your own estimation, there is no need for me to review them also. The translations are correct. You can tell your commander you have faithfully conveyed a record of our communication." I assured Airl that I had read them, and they were exact recordings of everything I told the transcription typist. "Will you sign the cover page then?" I asked. "No, I will not," said Airl. "May I ask why not?" I asked. I was a little confused as to why she wasn't willing to do such a simple thing. "If your commander does not trust his own staff to make an honest and accurate report to him, what confidence will my signature on the page give him? Why will he trust an ink mark on a page made by an officer of the domain if he does not trust his own loyal staff?" I didn't quite know what to say about that. I couldn't argue with Airl's logic, and I couldn't force her to sign the document either. I sat in my chair for a minute, wondering what to do next. I thanked Airl and told her I needed to go ask my superiors for further instructions. I placed the envelope of the transcripts in the inside breast pocket of my uniform jacket and began to rise from my chair. At that moment, the door from the gallery room slammed open. 5 heavily armed military police rushed into the room. A man in a white laboratory coat followed closely behind them. He pushed a small cart that carried a box-shaped machine with lots of dials on the face of it. Before I could react, 2 of the MPs grabbed Airl and held her firmly down in the overstuffed chair she had been sitting on since the first day of our interviews together. The two other MPs grabbed my shoulders and pushed me back down on my chair and held me there. The other MP stood directly in front of Airl, pointing a rifle directly at her, not more than 6 inches from her head. The man in the lab coat quickly wheeled the cart behind Airl's chair. He deftly placed a circular headband over Airl's head and turned back to the machine on the cart. Suddenly he shouted the word, "Clear." The soldiers who were holding Airl released her. At that instant, I saw Airl's body stiffen and shudder. This lasted for about 15 or 20 seconds. The machine operator turned a knob on the machine, and Airl's body slumped back into the chair. After a few seconds, he turned the knob again, and Airl's body stiffened as before. He repeated the same process several more times. I sat in my chair, being held down all the while by the MPs, and I didn't understand what was going on. I was terrified and transfixed by what was happening. I couldn't believe it. After a few minutes, several other men wearing white lab coats entered the room. They briefly examined Airl, who was now slumped listlessly in the chair. They mumbled a few words to each other. One of the men waved to the gallery window. A gurney was immediately rolled into the room by 2 attendants. These men lifted Airl's limp body onto the gurney, strapped her down across her chest and arms, and rolled it out of the room. I was immediately escorted out of the interview room by the MPs and taken directly to my quarters, where I was locked in my room with the MPs remaining at guard outside the door. After about a half an hour, there was a knock at the door to my quarters. When I opened it, General Twining entered, together with the machine operator in the white lab coat. The general introduced the man to me as Dr. Wilcox. He asked me to accompany him and the doctor. We left the room, followed by the MPs. After several twists and turns through the complex, we entered a small room where Airl had been wheeled on the gurney. Right? It gets better, guys. It really does. The general told me that Airl and the domain were considered to be a very great military threat to the United States. Airl had been immobilized so that she could not depart and return to her base, as she said she would do in the interview. It would be a very grave risk to national security to allow Airl to report what she observed during her time at the base. So it had been determined that decisive action was needed to prevent this. The general asked me if I understood why this was necessary. I said that I did, although I most certainly did not agree that it was the least bit necessary, and I certainly did not agree with the surprise attack on Airl and me in the interview room. However, I said nothing about this to the general because I was very afraid of what might happen to me and Airl if I protested. Dr. Wilcox asked me to approach the gurney and stand next to Airl. Airl lay perfectly still and unmoving on the bed. I could not tell whether she was alive or dead. Several other men in the white lab coats, who I assumed were also doctors, stood on the opposite side of the bed. They had connected 2 pieces of monitoring equipment to Airl's head, arms, and chest. One of these devices I recognized from my training as a surgical nurse as an EEG machine, which is used to detect electrical activity in the brain. The other device was a normal hospital room vital signs monitor, which I knew would be useless since Airl did not have a biological body. Dr. Wilcox explained to me that he had administered a series of mild electroshocks to Airl in an attempt to subdue her long enough to allow the military authorities time to evaluate the situation and determine what to do with Airl. He asked me to attempt to communicate with Airl telepathically. I tried for several minutes, but couldn't sense any communication from Airl. I couldn't even sense whether Airl was present in the body any longer. I think you must have killed her, I said to the doctor. Dr. Wilcox told me that they would keep Airl under observation and that I would be asked to return later to try to establish communication with Airl again. The next morning, I was escorted from my quarters under the guard of 4 MPs to the interview room. Airl's overstuffed chair had been removed from the room and replaced by a small desk and several office chairs. I was asked to sit down and wait to be interviewed. After a few minutes, Dr. Wilcox came into the office together with another man wearing a plain business suit. The man introduced himself as John Reed. Dr. Wilcox explained to me that Mr. Reed had been flown in from Chicago at the request of my superior officers to conduct a lie detector test on me. My surprise at this statement was so obvious that Dr. Wilcox noticed that I was obviously taken aback and insulted at the insinuation that I had ever lied about anything. Nonetheless, Mr. Reed began to set up his polygraph device on the desk next to my chair, while Dr. Wilcox continued to explain in a calm voice that the test was being administered for my own protection. Since all of the interviews with the alien had been conducted telepathically, and Airl had declined to read and attest that the typed transcripts were accurate, that the truth and accuracy of the statements contained in the transcripts depended entirely on my personal word alone. There was no other reliable way to test the accuracy of the transcripts without submitting me to a battery of tests and psychological examinations to determine, in the opinion of experts, meaning himself, whether the transcripts should be taken seriously or not. The tone of his voice said very clearly, or dismissed as the delusional ranting of a mere woman. Wow. Mr. Reed proceeded to strap a rubber tube around my chest, as well as an ordinary blood pressure cuff around my upper arm. He then placed electrodes on the fingers and surfaces of my hands. He explained that he would be very objective during the interview because he had been thoroughly trained in scientific interrogation. This training was supposed to make his interrogation free from human error. Isn't that interesting? Mr. Reed explained to me that in response to the questions he and Dr. Wilcox were going to ask me, that actual physiological changes would be transmitted through a small panel unit. The readings would then be tracked on moving graph paper, which he placed beside the machine on the desk. The parallel graphs on the paper would be correlated and interpreted by Dr. Reed, with the expert assistance of Dr. Wilcox, to determine whether or not I was lying. Both Mr. Reed and Dr. Wilcox asked me a series of innocuous questions to begin, which advanced into a more pointed interrogation about my interviews with Airl. Here is what I remember about the questions. What is your name? Matilda O'Donnell, I replied. What is your date of birth? June 12th, 1924, I said. What is your age? 23. She was a 23-year-old woman. Oh my God. She was a baby. She was a baby. Where were you born? Los Angeles, California, I said. And so on and so forth. Are you able to communicate by telepathy? No. I have never been able to do this with anyone except Airl, I said. Were any of the statements you made to the stenographer falsified? No, I answered. Have you intentionally or unintentionally imagined or fabricated any of the communication you claim to have had with the alien? No, of course not, I said. Are you intentionally attempting to deceive anyone? No. Are you attempting to obstruct this test? No. What color are your eyes? Blue. Are you a Catholic? Yes. Would you tell the same stories to your parish priest in a Catholic church confessional that you told the stenographer here at the base? Yes. Are you trying to hide anything from us? No, nothing. Do you believe everything the alien communicated to you? Yes. Do you consider yourself to be a gullible person? No. The questions continued in this manner for more than an hour, and finally I was unhooked from the polygraph machine and allowed to return to my quarters, still under guard by the MPs. Later in the afternoon, I returned to the interview room, and this time the desk was replaced by a hospital gurney. Dr. Wilcox was accompanied by a staff nurse this time. He asked me to lie down on the gurney. He said that he had been requested to ask me the same series of questions that I answered for the lie detector test. This time, however, I would respond to the questions under the influence of a truth serum, known as sodium pentothal. As a trained surgical nurse, I was familiar with this barbiturate drug, as it was sometimes used as an anesthetic. Dr. Wilcox asked me if I had any objection to submitting to such a test. I told him that I had nothing to hide. I cannot recall anything about this interview. I assumed that when I finished answering the questions, I was escorted back to my room by the MPs with their assistants this time, as I was too wobbly and woozy from the drug to navigate by myself. However, I had a very peaceful sleep that night. Apparently, neither of these interrogations yielded any suspicious results, as I was not asked any more questions after that. Thankfully, I was left alone during the rest of my time at the base. Okay, so we'll stop there for now. It does get better, guys. This does end on a happy note. Trust me on that. But yeah, it just goes to show that it just goes to show why the Galactics have not shown themselves, right? They don't want to become science experiments. Yeah. Let's not be sad. Come on, guys. Because, like I said, this does end on a happy note. Yeah. Yep. So we have to get all the evil cleared off the planet before they're going to show themselves. I really believe that. But I also believe that a lot of the evil has already been taken off the planet. And maybe that is why Sananda and the New Jerusalem are coming to Earth. Oh, yeah. Yes, Teresa, I'm going to be just fine. I have no fear. God, it's in God's hands, though, right? Everything's in God's hands. I'll have to read you guys' comments after. We got 4 minutes till snaps. But yeah, they just... That's what they do when that's why the Galactics can't show themselves. They treat them as science experiments. I can't believe that she was only 23 years old. I remember me at 23, but more than that, I remember my daughter's at 23. Oh, yes, Val. I have it on good authority that what we're watching now is a movie, and there are a lot of masks used, and there are a lot of actors being used. People have to be ready before they can handle seeing them. Yeah, I get that, hippie. Palladians are very humanoid looking. Their skin's a little lighter and they're taller, but hello, Tammy Lou. Oh, the sun is neon orange from all the smoke. Having more fires there in Montana, Betty. Hello, Anita. We were just talking about our resident alien, Airl. And what happened at the end of the interview. Oh, smoke from Idaho and Oregon. I'm telling you, they are putting this world into chaos with all the hurricanes and the fires and the earthquakes. Yeah, it's fine right now. It's fine, Betty. I think what's going to happen, it might hit us at a 1. Yeah. North, south, east, and west. Yeah. We got 1 minute. Okay, what's going on? Why was that deleted? Yeah. Okay, so I don't know why Anita was blocked. What happened? The moderating things in this app are way different. Yeah. I'll have to fix that after class. No worries. All right, here's our butterfly. And everyone in here is on the butterfly. And you lend your energy to the creation of our new earth. Also, our past loved ones always with us, helping us to create this new earth for all of us. This is our room. The dragon energy, the priest, the pan, the joker, the angels, the mother goose, the XOXO, the Ankh, the white rabbits, and the magic. Here is our picture from Steffi, and showing that we're always watched over and protected. And this is us. This is the rainbow butterflies. This is who we are. And divine love is working through us here and now to create our new earth. And we have created end suffering, make love the new foundation. We have created a haven for children to be children and a new education system. We have created 3D detox centers for healing and guidance. We have created peace, love, joy, happiness, and safety. We have created no pollution and no poison, and completely open pineal glands for all. We have created a world without violence. And here's a big old lucky hug for everyone in here creating. We have created everyone connected back with earth, spirit, energy, and source. We have created free energy, free water, clean water. We have created abundance and prosperity to do what we desire. We have created reverse manipulated energy grids, no HARP and no CERN. We've created a healthy Mother Earth and higher oxygen levels and shelter for everyone, perfect health for everyone. No more taxes and cleanup of our soil. Better care for our elderly, our animals, our children, and our vets. And we started this on 9/8/22, over 2 years ago. And we continue every weekday here in the Butterfly Sanctuary. So this is our healing chain, and all these people have asked us to connect our energy with theirs so that they can heal themselves. So however you do that, with light language, with Reiki, with crystal healing, with prayer, all beautiful healing modalities. I'm going to call in Archangel Raphael, have him connect his energy with all these beautiful people. And we are going to send them love, light, and healing energy now. Oh, of course. Grand Rising. Hello, hello. All right, guys. Thank you for that. Yes, what's going to go on? The hurricane is supposed to hit tonight, maybe? Later on tonight is what my husband's saying. So, if it hits, there won't be class because I'll probably not have electric. I probably won't have electricity. I'm probably going to lose my electricity. That happens in a hurricane. If it hits. And I don't know how long it'll be out, but just keep looking for me. And I'll make TikTok as soon as I can after the storm to let you guys know. Oh, tomorrow night? Tomorrow night's Wednesday night. Yeah, maybe. We'll see, Mary. We've really slowed the thing down. We've slowed it down a lot. Oh, of course. Of course. My son went out and bought us all flashlights. We had some, but he bought all new flashlights, bunch of batteries. I went out and bought snacky food and stuff that you don't have to, and drinks and water, and we're good. We moved all the stuff out of the yard. Yeah. I've rid out quite a few hurricanes in my life here in Florida. The worst one we had, we were out of electric for 2 weeks. I know, hippie, I know. It won't be, Teresa. It'll be fine. I will be just fine. 8 p.m. till Thursday, 9 a.m. Yeah, we had a really bad one. I can't remember when it was. It was a few years back. It was not fun, though, because Florida's hot. And without air conditioning for 2 weeks, oh, that was the worst. But who knows? We might just stop it. We might stop it in its tracks. You never know. It's, God has control, not us. Yep. Yeah, I am safe. I am safe. Yes, the no AC is awful. Yep. Yep. You've been cooking everything out of your freezer. You know, it's funny, Mary, because I don't keep much in my freezer other than, some fruit and stuff. I don't keep any meats in my freezer because I just buy it weekly. Yeah. Exactly. Yep. And I've got this going. I'm working the grid. That's my grid. Look at all the dragons there. There's tons of dragons there. Jesus is watching over all of it. It's good. We're good. Yeah. All right. Did you guys want to know more about Airl? Do you want to get to the good part, the happy part? So we leave on a good note? Okay. Let's finish up Airl's story today then. Okay. So again, this is Matilda, the 23-year-old nurse who spoke to Airl. She says, I remained at the base, mostly confined to my quarters for another 3 weeks after Airl had been incapacitated by Dr. Wilcox. Once a day, I was escorted to the room where Airl lay on the bed under continued surveillance by Dr. Wilcox and others, I assume. Each time I went to the room, I was asked to try to communicate with Airl again. Each time there was no response. This saddened me a great deal. As the days continued, I became increasingly more certain and distressed that Airl was dead, if that is the right word for it. Every day, I reread the transcripts of my interviews with Airl, searching for a clue that might remind me of something or help me in some way to reestablish communication with Airl. I still had the envelope in my possession with copies of the transcripts that Airl was asked to sign. To this day, I don't understand why no one ever asked me to return them. I suppose they forgot about the copy of the transcripts in all the excitement. I did not offer to return them. I kept them concealed under the mattress of my bed all the time I remained at the base, and have kept them with me ever since then. You will be the first person to see these transcripts. Since Airl's body was not biological, the doctors could not detect whether the body was alive or dead unless it moved. Of course, I knew that if Airl was not consciously animating the body of an Isby, the body would not move. I explained this to Dr. Wilcox. I explained this to him several times. Each time, he just gave me a patronizing sort of smile, patted my arm, and thanked me for trying again. At the end of the 3rd week, I was told by Dr. Wilcox that my services would no longer be needed because it had been decided by the military to move Airl to a larger, more secure military medical facility that was better equipped to deal with the situation. He didn't say anything about where the facility was located. That was the last time I saw Airl's doll body. Right? Smart cookie. Exactly. The following day, I received written orders signed by General Twining. Let me turn this down a little bit. Okay. The orders said that I had completed my service to the U.S. military and was officially discharged from further duty. and that I would receive an honorable discharge and a generous military pension. I would also be relocated by the military and given a new identity with the appropriate documents. Along with the orders, I received a document that I was instructed to read and sign. It was an oath of secrecy. The language of the document was full of legalese, but the point was very clear. Made that I was to never, ever discuss anything whatsoever with anyone whatsoever about anything whatsoever that I had seen, heard, or experienced during my service in the military, under pain of death as an act of treason against the United States of America. Wow. As it turned out, I was placed into a federal government witness protection program, except that I would be protected from the government by the government. In other words, as long as I stayed quiet, I could stay alive. The following morning, I was placed aboard a small military transport plane and flown to a relocation destination. After being shuttled to several locations for short periods, I ended up in Glasgow, Montana, near Fort Peck. She ended up in Montana. Wow. The night before, I was scheduled to board the transport plane. As I lay in bed contemplating the whole affair and wondering what happened to Airl and to me, I suddenly heard Airl's voice. She suddenly heard Airl's voice. I sat bolt upright in my bed and turned on the light on the nightstand. I looked around the room frantically for a few seconds. Then I realized that it was Airl, the Isby. Her body was not in the room with me, of course, and it didn't need to be. She said hello. The tone of her thought was plain and friendly. It was unmistakably Airl. I did not have the least doubt about that. I thought, Airl, are you still here? She answered that she was here, but not in a body on Earth. She had returned to her post at the domain base when the doctor and NPs attacked us in the interview room. She was pleased to perceive that I was well and that I was going to be released unharmed. Yeah. I wondered how she escaped from them. I was worried that they might have injured Airl by the shock machine. Airl said that she was able to leave the body before the shock was administered and avoided the electric current running through the body. She wanted to let me know that she was safe and not to worry about her. I was very relieved, to say the least. I asked Airl if I would ever see her again. Airl reassured me that we are both Isbys. We are not a physical body. Now that she had located me in space and time, we would always stay in communication. Airl wished me well, and my communication with her ended for the moment. Okay, so this is postscript from her. Well, of course, this is entertainment only. This is a story. I'm reading a book. Oh, Mark, wow. Yeah. Okay. So it says the following message was enclosed in a separate envelope marked "Read me last," together with the original letter, the transcripts, and the other notes of explanation I received in the envelope from Mrs. McElroy. This is what the message said. The other documents in this envelope are the end of the story as far as what happened back in 1947. So this was in 1947. Yeah. Mark, they don't like truth on that app. Okay. So she says, however, several months after the government got me settled at my final relocation destination, I continued my communication with Airl on a regular basis. It has been almost exactly 40 years since the crash at Roswell. Since then, it has become obvious to me that I have been able to communicate telepathically with Airl for one reason. I am one of the 3,000 members of the Lost Battalion. At this time, all of the members of the Lost Battalion have been located on Earth as a result of the Domain Anunnaki mission and their use of the Tree of Life detection device. Through my communication with Airl, I have recovered some of my memory of lives I've spent on Earth over the past 8,000 years. Most of these memories are not especially important compared to the long backtrack of events, but it has been a necessary stepping stone to regaining my awareness and ability as an ISB. I can also remember some dim patches of my life in the Domain Expeditionary Force. I was a nurse there too. For the most part, I've been a nurse over and over and over again, down through the ages. I stick with being a nurse because it is familiar to me, and I enjoy the work of helping people, as well as members of the race of biological beings in the domain whose bodies look more like insects than mammals, especially their hands. Even doll bodies need some repair once in a while, too. As I remember more about my past, I realize that the rest of my life is in the future. Eternity is not just in the past. Eternity is in the future. At this point, I am still not able to fully return to the domain. I am sentenced to eternal imprisonment, like all other ISBs, in the living hell called Earth, until we can disable the old Empire Force screens, which, like I said, we have done. Because I won't keep my biological body much longer now, I am intensely aware that very soon I will be recycled through the amnesia process of the old empire and stuck back into another baby body to start all over again, without any memory of what went before. As you know, members of the Domain Expeditionary Force have been working to solve this problem for thousands of years. Airl says that even though the Domain has located all of the Lost Battalion officers and crew, the success of freeing them depends on the ISBs who are already on Earth. The Domain Central Command cannot authorize any personnel or resources at this time to conduct a rescue mission, as this is not the primary mission of the Domain Expeditionary Force in this galaxy. So if ISBs on Earth are going to escape from this prison, it will have to be an inside job, so to speak. The inmates will have to figure out how to get themselves out. Various methods of recovering the memory and ability of ISBs have been developed over the past 10,000 years on Earth, but none have proven to be consistently effective so far. Airl mentioned that the most significant breakthrough was made by Gautama Siddhartha about 2,500 years ago. I actually researched this Siddhartha person. This Siddhartha, he was an ascended master. However, the original teachings and techniques taught by the Buddha have been altered or lost over the millennia since then. The practical techniques of his philosophy were perverted into robotic religious rituals by priests as a self-serving instrument of control or slavery. However, another major advance occurred recently an acquaintance of the commanding officer of the Domain Expeditionary Force Space Station, is an ISB who had once been an important engineer and officer in the old Empire space fleet. He became an untouchable himself about 10,000 years ago and was sentenced to Earth for leading a mutiny against the oppressive regime of the old empire. The engineer was trained in advanced scientific improvisation theory thousands of years ago, and this man has applied his expertise to helping the Domain solve the apparently unsolvable problem of rescuing the members of the Lost Battalion, as well as the ISBs on Earth. Careful observation and experimental analysis of the mechanics of memory in ISBs by he and his wife, who assisted him, led to the realization that ISBs can recover from amnesia and also regain lost abilities. Together, they discovered and developed effective methods that they used to rehabilitate their own memories. They eventually codified their methods so that others can safely be trained to apply them to themselves and others without detection by the old empire thought control operators. Their research was also revealed that ISBs can occupy and operate more than one body at the same time, a fact that previously was thought to be uniquely limited to officers of the Domain. One example of this fact is that the engineer in a previous lifetime on Earth was Suleiman the Magnificent. His assistant was a harem girl who rose up from slavery to become his wife and rule the Ottoman Empire with him. At the same time, she inhabited another body and ruled her own empire as Queen Elizabeth, as the Queen of England. She never married because she was already married to the Sultan of the Ottoman Empire. No, not the Queen of England that we know, but isn't it funny that the old empire took over the consciousness of the Queen of England that we know was removed from planet? Right? So, in a later life, he was incarnated as Cecil Rhodes. During his life as Rhodes, she was again a princess, this time from Poland. As such, she pursued Rhodes unsuccessfully toward the end of his life. However, in their next incarnation, they met again, were married, had a family, and again worked together successfully all of their lives. Several other notable examples of this phenomena were observed. For example, the process of refining steel was invented by the same ISB who inhabited two bodies at the same time. One was Kelly, who lived in Kentucky, and the other was a man named Bessemer, who lived in England. They both conceived the same process at the same time. Another example is Alexander Graham Bell, the inventor of the telephone, which was invented by several others at the same time, including Elisha Gray. The telephone was conceived concurrently in several locations around the world all at once. This was a single ISB of such tremendous energy and ability that he was able to operate several bodies in several different locations while conducting complex research work. Thanks to these revelations, the Domain has been able to return some of the ISBs of the Lost Battalion to active duty on a limited part-time basis. For example, two young girls who occupy biological bodies on Earth are now at the same time working as active members of the Domain Expeditionary Force on the asteroid space station as operators of a communication switchboard. These operators relay messages between the Domain Expeditionary Force and the Domain Command Headquarters. Recently, I myself have been able to resume some of my own duties for the Domain Expeditionary Force while continuing to live on Earth. This is not an easy task, however, and can only be done while my biological body is sleeping.
It makes me very, very happy to know that we may not have to stay on Earth forever. There is hope of escape, not just for the Lost Battalion, but for many other Isbies on Earth. However, all Isbies could be helped to become more aware of the actual situation on Earth through the information in this envelope. This is why I sent these letters and transcripts to you. I want you to get these documents published. I want Isbies on Earth to have a chance to find out what is really happening on Earth. Most people will not believe any of it, I'm sure. It seems too incredible. No reasonable person would ever believe a word of it. However, it only seems incredible to an Isbie whose memory has been erased and replaced with false information inside the electronically controlled illusion of a prison planet. We must not allow the apparent incredibility of our situation to prevent us from confronting the reality of it. Frankly, reasons have nothing to do with reality. There are no reasons. Things are what they are. If we don't face the facts of our situation, we're going to stay under the thumb of the old empire forever. The biggest weapon the old empire has left now is our ignorance of what they are doing to all the Isbies on Earth. Disbelief and secrecy are the most effective weapons that they have. The government agencies that classified the enclosed transcripts as top secret are run by Isbies, who are nothing more than mindless automatons covertly ordered about through hypnotic commands given by the old empire prison operators. They are the unknowing slaves of unseen slave masters, and all the more enslaved by their willingness to be slaves. Most of the Isbies on Earth are good, honest, able beings, artists, managers, geniuses, free thinkers, and revolutionaries who have harmed no one, really. They are no threat to anyone except the criminals who have imprisoned them. They must find out about the old empire amnesia and hypnosis operation, which we did. They must remember their own past lives, which we do. The only way this will ever happen is to communicate, coordinate, and fight back. We have to tell other people, and they have to discuss it openly with each other. Communication is the only effective weapon against secrecy and oppression. This is why I'm asking you to tell this story. Please share these transcripts with as many people as you can. If the people of Earth are told what is really going on here, perhaps they will begin to remember who they are and where they came from. For now, we can begin our own release and rescue with words. We can be free again. We can be ourselves again. Perhaps I will meet you in person, with or without a body, somewhere in our eternal future. Good luck to all of us. Matilda O'Donnell McElroy. Pretty good stuff. Right, exactly. Not enough, exactly. But there's other things, right? This isn't the only avenue. This isn't the only way that we have awoken to who we are as at a soul level. There are the freedom teachings out there, right? There are even the Bible. The Bible is used as a stepping stone. And then we're led to other means to wake up. Right? It is hard to talk to people. It sure is. I do believe that everyone awakens at their own time. But it takes to be shooken up sometimes. Yeah, the Sophia Code, absolutely. Yep.
All right. Do we want to go over to TikTok for a bit and chit chat? Are you ready to go to TikTok? Yep. Okay. All right. Let's go over to TikTok for a little bit. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right. Off we go. Uh-huh. Exactly.